Welcome to the trap. Welcome to the trap. Welcome to the trap. Welcome to the trap.
Let's go. Zen.
Trap.
Zen.
Trap.
Zen.
Trap.
Zen.
Trap.
Protect.
Yo, peace. All right, welcome back to another Zen Trap Chat. I'm one of your two hosts, Yogi LG.
Zen P. All right, here at the Zen Trap Podcast, our purpose is to guide and inspire listeners to be accountable for their overall health by sharing our perspective and journey to do the same through continuously seeking internal peace to maximize our potential in service of others. Today, we got a very special guest. LG, why don't you tell them who we got?
Hey, we got my man Wallace Miles in the building. Underrated. Number 8.
The man, the myth, the legend.
The myth, the legend. We happy to have you on, man. I'm super excited.
As long as you say the man first, I'm cool.
The man, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Definitely human.
All right, so on our podcast, we like to give our guests the chance to kind of introduce themselves. That way you have a chance to kind of say what you want to highlight, because some people don't like to be known for some of their accomplishments and stuff. So how we do that, we do it kind of like icebreaker style, where you're going to give us your life story in 2 minutes. Like 2 minutes is not like the cutoff. Like we're not going to just be like at 2 minutes, just like, hey, stop talking.
I thought y'all was going to put a clock up there for me.
Nah, no clock. Lindsay maybe will give you like the little Toastmasters hand at like 30 seconds or something.
Respect,
give you a little wave. But yeah, just from birth to now, where you at now, and you can kind of share what you want to share. It helps us get to know maybe something we didn't know about you.
Well, I started out way back in my mother's womb for about 9 months. For about 9 months. I stayed in there a little long. But when I finally came out, I found out I was in Southwest Atlanta, Georgia. It's where I grew up. Ended up going to Westlake High School. Got a bunch of big names out of there. Y'all can go look them up. That's another story for another day. But that did give me the foundation in math and science. So I was in the math and science magnet program when I was there. And then that's what gave me the interest in looking at North Carolina A&T, where I met these two amazing people.
Come on now, Aggie Pride.
Aggie Pride. Sure. I say, you see it?
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I finished with math and science as a magnet at Westlake and went to A&T for electrical engineering. Spent 5 years there, but while I was there, it's where a lot of my story generates. Because let me stick back one time. In high school, I was a kicker, and I had a soccer background growing up. So I wanted to play football like my entire life. My aunt used to take me down to the field and watch the other kids play because my parents wouldn't let me play. So I just was dreaming and wanting and hoping, and I finally got a chance as a junior, and they made me be the kicker because of that soccer background. But it's always funny how life plays out, because I wasn't going to get a scholarship or a chance to play in college, but because I could kick, A&T needed a kicker. So the thing that I hated doing, that I didn't want to do, is the thing that got me an opportunity to be in the place that I felt like I should have been in the first place. It got me a chance to get onto the A&T football team. Walked on as a kicker, and I made a transition into me, as I say. Like I was who they told me I was in high school, and I made a decision when I first got to A&T that I was going to be me. I was done being who they told me I was, and I decided I wanted to be a receiver. I wanted to be like Jerry Rice and Terrell Owens, Ocho Cinco. Ocho was really like my training partner. When nobody wanted to train, I would watch his videos and then go out on the field and just imitate what he was doing. So I got in my path. I got into chasing who I saw when everybody was asleep. I looked in the mirror. I was chasing that guy, and it evolved into an A&T leading receiver. But I never pass up to talk about the struggle of being a student athlete and all of that, because electrical engineering is tough.
Hey, we know, brother. We know, brother.
I know.
We know,
I
brother.
know. Hey, look, I appreciate y'all for helping me. But it was a tough major, but I was able to finish, as well as finish playing ball. And my journey through football gave me the opportunity to try out for the Detroit Lions, which is crazy. It was my favorite team growing up. I got a chance to play for the Detroit Lions. Got signed. Emotional moment coming from where I came from. And eventually I got cut. I mean, most people in the NFL get cut. That's how they leave. But I wasn't done, so I took my talents, as LeBron would say. I went north of the border when he went south.
Sure.
I went to Canada, and I played for 4 years. I got to experience Winnipeg, Manitoba. I wouldn't advise going there, just to let you know. I got to go out to Edmonton, beautiful out in Edmonton, Alberta, Toronto, Ontario, and Ottawa. Ottawa is a beautiful place too. So if you ever get a chance to go to Canada, Ottawa and Edmonton are two beautiful places to go. And again, most people leave football when they get cut. So 2016, I got cut from Toronto. And I just kind of knew, like, I've been spinning my wheels chasing this thing, and I knew I gained so much from it, but I felt like it was over for me, and I made a pivot. I didn't know which direction I was going. I did pivot away into the abyss, but it landed me in a space that my mother had been in her entire life, in construction. I had no interest ever, but the cards were played, and I played mine. Ended up in construction. I've been working for a mid-sized GC in Atlanta, Georgia, Carroll Daniel Construction, for the last 4 years, and it's been amazing. And I always pulled the skills that I learned through that entire, maybe it might be 3 minutes of a journey in my day-to-day life. And it's that's one of the biggest things to me, is be able to see everything that you've done and experienced, and how it helps you become who you are, and it's going to help you along your journey as you continue going on.
All right, for sure. That was very good spiel, right? Very good spiel of who Wallace Miles is and your journey. Love to highlight it, like that college era that really like defines you and shape you. So that's what's up.
Sure.
I'm gonna start off with one of the questions, and this is probably one of my favorite questions. I think it's challenging, but do you feel like you are truly maximizing your potential as who Wallace Miles is and who you can be? Do you feel like you're maximizing your potential?
No.
Okay.
Hey, look, and I say no. It partly is because of who I am, because I operate in this mindset of I've got more, and I don't even know what that more is half the time, but I know I got more. Even when I'm tired, or when I'm having my greatest days, I got more. So I don't feel like I'm maximizing. When we look back 60, 80 years from now, we had this conversation, I might could tell you, yeah, I did maximize, but right now, I don't think so. And I call it like watching film. You could watch your best game and find some things that you could have done better.
For sure.
And I know, to me, that's maximizing, doing those little things that could have been better. So no, I'm not maximizing who I am, where I am, but I'm definitely studying the tape.
All right, I'm gonna throw a little quick numbers at you along with that question. Me and P have done this before.
I know what life percentage.
Yeah, you got to give as a percentage.
Life effort.
How much effort do you feel like you've given in life overall? Like, if I could 1 to 100%, like I've given 80% effort, or I've given 30% effort. Where you feel like you at?
I think it's hard to pinpoint an exact one, but I'm going to throw 85. And the number for me is 85 because I know I've given that about that 80, 90 range, but the guy
that... I say Ocho Cinco.
it's actually not, though, because the guy that really transformed, like Ocho was a figure I couldn't touch, but I did learn a lot from him. But the guy that really touched my life and gave me knowledge about the game of football, he helped me with my physical, but it was really about learning the knowledge of the game, with this guy named Milt Stiegel. And he changed my life. Like, I went to A&T and I got a chance to be a receiver a little bit, but when I started working with him, life changed. Yeah. My mindset changed, work ethic changed, everything changed. So I'm gonna throw that 85 out there. Right. He was 85 in Winnipeg.
Okay.
Oh, dope. All right, I got one. So speaking on that, how do you feel like, because at this podcast we all about really like awareness, like self-awareness, looking internal to see, like what you can do to be better, like what's going on with your mental and your physical and stuff like that, so that you can help your outside surroundings. So how would you say self-awareness has helped you reach your goals in life?
Man, it's crazy that that's the question you asked, because I actually did a podcast. I'm on this podcast with a friend of mine from middle school, and we read books and we try to talk through.
Plug it.
Plug your podcast.
It's called Just 10 Pages. The number 10 pages, and it's about really just being consistent in reading and digesting information. But we sit down and talk through a book and see how it affected in real life. And we actually sat down and talked about my book, Underrated, the route they called an NFL Dream.
Plug.
We did that on Wednesday, and in the middle of it, he's like, you know what it really feels like about you? Like you got a keen sense of awareness about you, like in the moment. And that's something I've always tried to carry with me is like, and that's why I never have, to me, like bad moments, because everything is an opportunity to learn.
For sure.
So yeah, awareness has been huge in football, awareness in how did I move, what did the DB do, what play calls create this opportunity against this defense, awareness of being in situations of like, all right, shit seemed like it might be going left. I can curse on here, right?
Yeah.
Oh man, do your thing.
All right, cool. Yeah, shit seems like it could be going left. Can I peep what's going on before it actually happens? Or my awareness in me and my wife. All right, I'm not giving her the quality time that she needs and deserves. Can I be conscious enough in these moments to like, all right, let me stop doing this, because right now after we leave here, we're going to see the symphony orchestra. Like, I got to make sure I give that quality time. So awareness to me is key. It's honestly how you see the details and then you use the details to continue to move forward in life. Because if you don't, I got this concept of keep your head on a swivel. You're gonna get blindsided if you don't.
For sure.
Keep your head on a swivel. That's classic for sports. And it's great you brought the book up, and it's crazy how similar. I think you said that just 10-minute podcast. Like just 10 pages. Yeah. We do pretty much the same thing on this podcast. We do Zen Trap Perspectives, and we do it with book reviews and video reviews. So we literally do the same thing. We definitely read your book. Yeah. Oh, we definitely read your book. We're gonna do your book probably as a ZTP next.
Man,
so
I love it.
We read it. Great book, by the way.
Great book.
Appreciate
it. Especially if you enjoy football, the visualization was just
sports in general. It ain't got to be football. Sports in general.
Amazing. Super amazing.
I appreciate
Great book. Definitely the way for Zen Trap type stuff. LG. Yeah. Oh, I can lead the next question.
Can I take 1 second? One second.
Oh, do your thing.
Like every time somebody like reads the book and then they tell me how much they enjoyed it, it really affects me, because like growing up I didn't like reading. I barely like writing.
Same.
Yeah. Still don't like
it. I think it's an engineering thing.
Still don't love it.
And it took me 8 years from start to actually finishing that book. So that's just a huge process of me pushing through into a space that I'm not even inclined to be in. And then for me to do that and for you to be able to receive something positive from it and appreciate it, it means the world to me, because I really put a lot of my life in that. So thank you.
It's crazy to hear you say that, because the wordplay in that book is so top tier, man. Like it is top tier. Good. Like I was like, man, it's so many quotables. It's so good, man. I think some people might sleep on it when they start reading, and they'll be like, oh man, like I think it fits the brand of like the books we've read, where it's like it's definitely a book that you got to read again. And I'm glad you did the Audible version, and I'm glad I kind of waited and listened to the Audible version, because that made it
so good.
Times two better, like so much better, like with the band in there and stuff, and all the little moments.
It was so
crazy
good. So good.
And I love y'all, man. Thank you.
All right, leaning on that, and I think the book might even help with this. What piece of advice would you give your 18-year-old self? Like you going into college, you still have the same focus and determination, the dream. What advice would you give yourself then?
So as I've grown and looked back on my life, which is my reflection kind of, I'm a reflection kind of guy. I realized that some of my downfall is my people pleasing. So I would tell that 18-year-old version of myself, be okay disappointing some people as long as you are pure in what you're chasing. It's an instance that's going to be in the second book. Where yeah, that's an outline for him right now.
Cool.
But it's an instance that really sticks out to me, where I saw the downfall of my professional career start. It was because of the decision I made to people please, and I saw myself as a child. I just wanted to make people happy when they were around me, and sometimes that was at the fault of my actual own happiness, or the things that I wanted to do, or the things I felt comfortable doing. And I want that young man to be comfortable at all times, to try to be yourself. You're going to learn from those interactions if they go good or bad, but just try to be yourself so you can genuinely learn and grow from it. And don't carry that facade.
Yeah. Hey, and on that same wave, like to me, being able to stay focused and not people pleasing is kind of all centered around like protecting your space, your energy, your peace, what keeps you focused, what keeps you locked in. So how would you say you protect, we have a slogan here, PYPPYE, which is protect your peace, protect your energy. But how would you say protect your peace or protect your energy or protect that focus of doing what you have said, especially when you have good intentions?
I think I'm new to this space of protecting my peace, protecting my energy. So right now, currently, it's two things because it's not always in the moment. It's that reflection. It's that taking the time to say, how did I operate in this certain situation? Was that really how you felt about it? I had a talk with a partner of mine, Deshaun Graham, who played at A&T last weekend. I was in Greensboro.
Greatest homecoming
and he
on
was
earth.
like, greatest homecoming on earth.
Shout out to homecoming.
Don't start that up, Lindsay. Like that'd be a whole long conversation about you.
Yeah, we can have it though.
Hey, come on now.
But yeah, just like, cause he's abrupt, like straight to the point. This is how I feel, and I've always been pretty much his yang. I'm the complete opposite. I'm just like, let me make this situation feel good. Let me make everybody at peace, make everybody laugh.
It sounds. Hey man,
I'm not the only one out here. I know.
I'm with you, brother.
But yeah, just reflecting on how I'm operating, and then. Look, I don't even know if I can remember the second one. I went so deep into that one.
It's all good.
Yeah, I might have to bring that one back up if it pop back in my head.
No problem.
It's cool. It's cool. Another one kind of to lean on that, and this is random, something that we've answered to. What's the best compliment you can receive from someone? Like, what is a compliment that you get that really makes you feel good?
I got a ton of it last week at homecoming, bro. People tell me that I inspired them to do something. Like not an inspiration to just you made me feel good. You inspired me to go chase a business idea that I was having, and I just had to commit to it and define what it was for me and go after it. Like that's the biggest thing to me in this space I'm in right now, because that's what I feel like we're here for. We're here for each other, and my journey is not just for me. It's not for me to write a book and everybody just say, congratulations, Wallace, great job, Wallace. It's to really take something from it and hope that you carry something into the rest of your life. So when somebody comes and tells me that what I did helped them, motivated them, pushed them, I showed them the way to work hard and it really turned into something, that's the biggest compliment to me right now. It's like I had impact. My life had impact on the world around me, the people around me.
All right, so I got another one. Go ahead, P, if you want to jump in.
Nah, I just kind of wanted to go like a level deeper from everything we're talking about, because it's always like a breath of fresh air to meet people who are on this like awareness journey like we're talking about. And I don't think, and I can say even in school, and of course I'm gonna speak for myself. I was not mature enough to even fathom having conversations like this. Definitely didn't see
not at
me
all.
going in spots. Yeah, exactly. So kind of in that like in LG, you can help me with this question that we talked about too before, is like, do you feel like we are born with the awareness we have, and that it can like grow and stuff like that? Or do you think like it's like a cap to it? Because me and Lizzie talk about sometimes how like when you meet somebody, you can't necessarily tell how much, and again, it's not like you're trying to judge how much awareness they have, but like you can't have these conversations with everyone just because, you know, maybe they're not ready to receive it, or you don't know enough about it, or you're just not focused about it. You just kind of going through with life. So kind of, I guess, I'm trying to figure out what I'm saying. Like, how do you?
I can ask it. Like,
Yeah.
Do you feel like awareness is innate within you? Like you were born with that, or is that something that you kind of grew to grasp? Like, hey, I realized that like I need to reflect and I need to kind of look at myself and look internally and search and find what I'm doing wrong and realize that it's all on myself versus like,
yeah. Do you feel like it's more like talent? Like some people are born with talent and some people can work hard. Like, is awareness like the same as that, or do you feel like it's something different?
I think we're all born with the starter kit for awareness. I feel like we all have, even a 2-year-old has awareness. But as you continue to grow, I feel like sometimes our awareness puts blinders on, and I'm just seeing what's in front of me, and I'm cool with that. And then oftentimes, and in my life, it was an instance when I got cut from Toronto that caused me to say I need to open those blinders up a little bit more. And it almost got addictive once I started to listen to podcasts. I started to listen. TED Talks was huge for me. When I got cut,
yes,
I would sit there and listen to TED Talks for hours. Look, at work, I'm supposed to be doing some TED Talks, but it just started as I continued. Listen to all our videos. hey, we on the same path.
Come on, man. Same path, man.
So yeah, I think oftentimes it's something or someone traumatic in your life. Somebody, like for me, it was getting cut and not knowing what the hell I was about to do, where I was about to go. It caused me like I need to know or see or experience more to get a job, I didn't even know how to talk to people. And I'm like, I need to learn. I listened to a book, 92 Ways to Talk to People. Like I was like, I need to open my perspective on that. Yeah. So I think that happens to a lot of people. You end up in a circumstance that requires you to respond, and some people do respond and some people don't. But then also I think it's environmental at times. So like if you're constantly in situations where you have to consciously be aware. I mean, and honestly, you think about going to the trap or going to the hood, like you got to be aware of what's going on at all times. Head on the swivel.
For sure.
But as you are aware of what's going on, you're starting to develop why is this going on and how is it going on and shit. What's my next move, or what's my move that I could do to not even be close to this situation? So I think environment can start to generate those thoughts of awareness, that consciousness of awareness, and then experience. Like I was listening to somebody today, and he was saying like you could change people's mind doesn't get reprogrammed unless a traumatic event happens, you go traveling, or you start learning. So like if you go and experience the world like you two, it starts to open your awareness up to shit. We do it like this over here, but they do it like that over there, and there's nothing wrong with it. Shit, this might even be better. Let me bring this back home to the folks, teach them a little something different, open their eyes a little further. So that's kind of how I'm starting to view awareness. Is like everybody got it, but when do you start to open those blinders, if ever?
Yeah, you know the scary part is once it's like open a little bit, you can't just stuff it back in there. Like, no. I've never seen that. You be like stressing out, like,
I'm too aware. I got too much information.
Look, it's almost like a drug. Honestly, like you get a little bit, and then you see how it can affect a situation or a circumstance or interaction in your life. You're like, oh shit, I need to learn some more about this. Yeah. Oh shit, this can affect this. Like
trying to pull your people with you. You looking around like y'all tripping, man. All right.
Y'all don't know this can happen. Yeah.
Yo, that book 92 Ways to Have a Conversation or something like that. That shit opened the door for me because I'm an introvert. Honestly, I don't go out and talk to people and interact. But I mean, all the people in the world know everything I don't know. So shit. Let me see what's up.
For sure. Hey, and what's crazy is like we watched this video that said like 80 to 90% of the people in the world think they're self-aware, and only like 10 to 20% are actually self-aware. So just kind of like opening up those blinders. A lot of people think they got them open and they ain't even tapped in. You know what I'm saying? So that's
I heard somebody recently say if you think that you are self-aware, you're not. And if you know that you're not self-aware, you probably are.
You're at least on the right path.
Yeah, at least on the right path.
For sure. All right, so I know we always talk about like with that self-awareness journey and with maximizing our potential, a big part of it is routine. And you being a football player, routine has been a big part of your life. You know, schedule, get up, go do this, whatever. What do you feel like is a part of your routine that has changed or even contributed to your success? Like, is there something specific that you do? Do you meditate? Do you whatever? Is there things that you do a part of your routine even now today that is contributed to your success?
I'm gonna give you two.
All right, cool.
The first one is I wake up earlier than most people, and I'm not gonna say I'm the 3 o'clock in the morning kind of wake up guy, but half the week I wake up at 4, and then the other half of the week I wake up at 5. So I'm up earlier than most people are during the week. And that gives me either opportunity to kind of think through my day, think through my goals, think through me, before the pressures and the phone calls and everything that is needed from you out of the world into the world starts hitting you. I think that really helps me um, be more prepared, honestly, for most situations. Keep my calm, keep my peace, that I'm working to do, when the world starts spinning. And then the second thing is, and I really caught a glimpse of it when I was writing the book. I do a pretty good job of doing something intentional towards my goals every day.
Oof.
And
That's
with the
powerful,
book,
Brother, you at 90%
yeah,
life effort.
yeah, you at 85, you at 90, big dog.
My boy, a member of the 5 a.m. club and doing intentions.
Yeah, like the book, and I would get stuck, and I was like, dang man, I don't feel it today. I'm not gonna write today. I don't feel it today. I'm not gonna write today. And that might turn into a week. And then I just committed to, like I said, I'm just gonna go to the library and I'm gonna sit there and until something starts writing. And what I learned was I might write some bullshit one day, but at least the next day I come back, I've thought through an idea and I'm able to go back and make it more of a finished product.
Yeah.
It's like I put down. It's almost like I put down a rough draft, and now I've thought through what I wanted to say, how I wanted it to flow, and now I'm able to come back and write it so it is something that somebody would enjoy later on.
Sure.
And I saw, if I do that, I'm doing that in everything: podcast, business, the book, my wife, my life goals. Like every day is something intentional. This right here is intentional. I'm working on developing. I told you I'm not a communicator. I'm working on being able to speak to people on camera, working on my lighting. Like this, I promise you, 365 days ago, this wouldn't have looked like this.
Yeah.
But every day I'm consciously, intentionally trying to do a little bit more to be better towards my goals.
I got a little band on right now that say be intentional. Definitely support that. That's so what's up.
For sure.
Yeah, be intentional.
Need one of them.
For sure. I got you. Don't worry. I'll get you one, man.
There we go.
All right, so I got a random segue since we here now, and this is kind of for both of y'all, really now. Like advice, because this, we Zen Trap chatting now. Do y'all feel like there's such thing as universal advice, or is advice situational? For example, is there a piece of advice that you think just applies to everything, or is there advice that is literally situational? It applies in these certain moments, it applies in certain environments, like, or can you even think of advice that's just like bland and universal that goes across everything? Because, for example, can't necessarily be nice to everybody in certain environments, like you said, where you come from. Being nice to somebody can get you, you know what I mean?
Say you be a mark,
taking advantage of, make yourself a mark, or sometimes being tough in every environment can't help you in certain. So it was something I was thinking about today, and I kind of wanted to get really hear somebody else's perspective on that. I haven't even flushed the thought out for real.
Wallace, you want to go? I can go. I got my opinion ready.
I mean, I got mine, but I kind of want to hear yours.
I absolutely feel like there is some universal advice. Yes, there's situational advice, of course. To me, that's a given. But universal advice, there are some things that us as humans can use as advice in general, right? Like,
give me an example.
I think everyone needs connection. I think that's a piece of advice that I would give every person to make a connection with somebody. It literally feeds your spirit. Reading. I think I heard Will Smith say the other day, I love me some Will Smith. There's 2 keys to life. That's running and reading. Reason running is because if you could run and get over that voice in your head that tells you like, I'm tired, I can't do it, I need to quit. If you could get past that, then that's like one of the keys to life is defeating that voice in your head. Other one is reading, because there's nothing that anybody in the world hasn't gone through. Like, it's people that were here centuries before us. There's nothing new up under the sun. They probably wrote it down and put it in a book. So those type of pieces of advice to me are universal. Every human can use that.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say what she said. Every word of that.
Every single word.
In that order too.
Just like that.
I think I was thinking about it just because it's like a tricky duality type of game of I believe that you can learn from everybody. I believe that wholeheartedly, but I also believe that like there's probably no one person who I just trust everything they say 100%. Of course, like 100. But that's the part of like, okay, just because I believe that doesn't mean I can't learn from things that you're saying, whether it be right, wrong, and different.
And
so I think
sometimes it's not necessarily learning from what they say, because sometimes it's learning the discernment of catching a lie in the moment.
Yeah,
It don't have to be the content all the time. Sometimes it is the overall action of the person,
watching how they move
or interaction.
Yeah,
yep,
for sure.
Yeah, and I think that messes with me sometimes on thinking that though, and believing that a little bit on like, you know, somebody who is doing good actions and saying good things could also, and again, no judgment on anybody else's like sin or how they live their life or something, but could be doing one thing and doing another thing you don't agree with. So it's like, do you throw the whole message in the person away? It's like so much
what's
of
my
like,
line, Pete? Eat the meat, spit out the bones.
I don't like that line, but I get.
Yeah,
you say it a lot, but
we're gonna have to find a different way to say it. I feel you. I mean, just gotta figure out a different way to say it.
I've always felt her saying it, but I just can't. It don't resonate.
Don't resonate. All right, cool. I get it.
Yeah. I gotta find a different way to.
A piece of advice that sticks out to me that seems to be universal is I had a coach tell me, "Stay ready." How did he say it? Stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
Stay ready, you don't gotta get ready. For sure.
And no matter when your moment comes, it may come at the beginning of when you start getting on your trail, but as long as you have started the process of getting ready for whenever that moment was, like for me in the book, in high school, I was the kicker, but I practiced at receiver every day. I practiced against one of the top guys in the state of Georgia every day, hoping for my moment. And in my last game of high school, I got thrown in the game, and then Cam threw me the ball.
Yeah.
But if I hadn't stayed ready for my moment, and I never knew when it was coming, I wouldn't have known what the route was. I didn't know what my split was. I didn't know how to run the route. I didn't know how to fix my hands. Like all these little things from just trying to get ready. And then you never know when the moment comes. But I guarantee you, if you don't get ready, you won't be ready for it.
You won't be ready. I agree with that 100%. Speaking back on the book, you jump back into that. What do you feel like gave you the, like, you said you started this 8 years ago. So what gave you the motivation to even write a book?
Facts.
Especially like
my mother,
about your life too. That was just like, it was your life, but it was so good that it was like, dang, where did he get this idea? Like,
my mother, she provided the inception. She's the one that told me that your story is powerful. And when you just living it, you just like, I'm just being me. I'm just doing these things. It's just part of the process. Yeah. Exactly. But she's like, no, your story is powerful. And then the next thing was I started to reflect on the 16-year-old me when I hadn't got a chance to play football yet. And I was like, I'm writing this story because I tell people I wrote that story for me, but I wrote that story for the 16-year-old me. And then the other millions of 16-year-olds that are going to go through that space in life to help them just have awareness as they continue to move through. Like, I know what it feels like to not be able to play and you mad every day you go to practice, but bro, just continue to show up, continue to push. You're bigger than this moment. I know what it feels like when goddamn you think you about to have a baby and how that affects your mental.
Yeah.
How that affects like I had a physical reaction to the stress that I was going through in that time.
Yeah.
And how to continue to push through. And then how losing a baby. What is that like?
Yeah.
So I wanted somebody, and I'm not the first one to go through any of that, but I wanted them to have a resource as they move through life to be able to like, look, I'm not alone. My mind, I'm not crazy for thinking these thoughts, because I said some stuff that I'm like, most people don't want to say. Like, I didn't want that baby. And and let me go ahead and say, I did eventually come to the grips, like, this is going to be a good thing. And then what happened. But I wanted that kid, that 16-year-old to know, like, what's in front of you, you can be prepared for it. I'm trying to be here and help you through it. It's going to look different. It's going to sound different sometimes, but you're going to learn some similar lessons on your path.
Yeah, and I think the craziest thing with that makes you even more frustrated is usually like the best advice is stuff that everybody kind of says. So you keep hearing the same thing and it makes you more mad because you want to hear something different and everybody's telling you the same thing. It's like usually like simple and you just like,
Yeah.
and then later on you like, oh, okay. Yeah.
You know what's funny about that? Sometimes it matters who it's coming from. Because
1,000%.
It's a lot of things that I ran head first into that my mother was literally telling me, and I didn't want to listen. But the right person at the right time sat me down, talked to me, and I was able to grasp it. And I've been able to go tell my mother, I know you told me that. I just wasn't ready to hear it, or I just was hard-headed. You and my mom.
Yeah.
But sometimes it just takes. That's why I tell people, look, we're gonna keep telling you. Like I got 2 nephews that I'm trying to teach to read, to expand their knowledge. I'm gonna keep telling them. I know they're not gonna do it tomorrow. I know they're not gonna do it next week. But I'm gonna keep telling them because it might be the right time. They might have lost a job at the right time for me to hear, like, hey, you still need to expand your knowledge, expand your awareness. And then I'll be there for them when in their time of need.
Exactly. It could be something so subtle that you're not even aware of, and they're gonna bring it back up to you like 10 years later. Like, man, when you did this, and you're like, oh, not the other stuff, but when I did that one.
Exactly.
All right, that's what's up. What's one of the I like to ask this just because we talk about knowledge. What's one of the best books you read besides the 92 Ways to Talk to People or 92 Ways to Converse with People?
The first book that got me on the path to understanding what I was chasing or how I was chasing, The Alchemist.
We just read
The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho.
We just literally read that I don't know, 3 weeks ago.
I listened to that whole 4 times.
That's the first book that kind of got me mentally understanding, chasing a goal, learning, understanding your personal legend. Like that book really got me rolling. It's another book that I actually never read the book, but I watched this little DVD when I was when I was going to college. It was called The Secret. Now I would say that book, but I never read the book. I just watched the video.
Same.
I read the book. The film is better. The film is better. It reads dry. Like literally the book is just like the film, and it's just their words on.
Oh yeah,
breakdown.
Need the imagery and
the film is way better. I really feel like they need to update that film for sure. Yeah. Like
it would be so
the
much
message
more
is
powerful.
clear. It's in there. It would be so much more powerful if it was
especially in today.
In today, man. Yeah,
because I had to start watching it like 3 times. Like I was like, all right, man, this is dumb. But once I sat down
and that was good about your book is like literally we saying the same stuff you said. Like this is like literally all like this is dumb. This is dumb. And then you like wait and like hold on though.
This kind of good. They might be right. They might be on.
That's exactly how I was like. This is cheap, man. He gave me this stupid ass DVD.
$5,
man.
Can't be more than $5.
Exactly. It can't be. I swear. Bro, the first time I made it through, I was like, this shit can't be real. And then I tried it. I was like, and it really hit me when I got my invite to A&T because I wasn't even supposed to go to camp. In the book, I was the 91st player invited to a camp full of 90 people. Somebody decided to go somewhere else, but it happened when I got my letter. I had spent 2 months just intentionally thinking like I'm going to be on A&T's camp. I'm looking at the roster like I'm going to be next to Kurt Walls. I'm going to be next to Chaz Dawson in the lineup. Like I had no real vision, and I was still supposed to be a kicker then.
Yeah,
but that intentional thinking, that positive thinking, stub my toe in the morning, I'm still gonna have a damn good day. Like that was real to me. Stopping at stoplights, praying and thinking about it. And then that damn letter fell out that envelope that day. Boy.
Blew your mind. You like, oh,
blew my mind.
This is real.
That first time is crazy.
Hey, me and P have had plenty of conversations of like where we'll like set intentions, or he'll set an intention on like he'll say it out loud, like, hey Lindsay, I'm gonna do this, and this. I'd be like, all right, of course. Like, I support you, or I think you do it. And then when it happened, I'd be like, I ain't really think it was going to happen. It happened. Oh, my God. This is real.
That's exactly.
We had a friend dinner and literally was like, hey, y'all, we need to stop playing and, like, say more stuff and, like, be more intentional. Like, we keep doing it a little bit. Why don't we do nothing, like, big and scary? Like, we still even, like, undermining it a little bit. Like, we still just be like, all right, I'm going to just do a little. I just want to see a little. If I can get a little something.
The universe and God. And that I intertwine both of them.
I love that.
We do too.
Same.
Yeah, we do too.
It's the same. For sure.
He knows when you're not all the way committed too. And when you say
that shakiness.
Exactly. When you feel that, when you say that big scary thing, that's when, and you really chase it, that's when you'll see some real magic.
And I think that's the big part you said behind it though, when you really chase it too. Not just saying it, you walking around just thinking it's gonna fall in your lap, like, oh, I'm gonna get it. I think Big Sean said when he said like, oh, God is listening to like everything you say. So when you out here saying like, man, I can't figure it out, I can't do this and stuff, it's like, all right, cool, you can't do it. You can't figure it out then.
I gave you everything on this world to do it.
You say.
Yeah.
Look, the way I look at, I began to look at it is like, once you say it, God puts it on a collision course to a point in your life. It's your job to make that collision. He put it out there. You just got to go make the collision.
Dang, that's good. That's good.
That's tough, man.
That's a bar right there. That's a bar. It's a collision course. Tough. Yeah,
exactly.
Good.
Dang, we need Wallace on the staff when we middle school coaches or something. When we go back
and we gonna bring him in.
High school coaches.
We're gonna bring in a legend. Mr. Wallace Miles, he gonna tell y'all about his journey. I can't wait.
Talk to y'all for a second. Matter of fact, all y'all read this book by next practice. Have a page written.
Yeah,
all right.
I like it.
So, what would you say is your why right now, presently, and what's motivating you right now? Which I'm sure it's a plethora of things, but like, what's the one driving you, and what would you say is your why?
My why is to enhance, and this is the general why, to enhance my family. And when I say my family, I mean the people that I touch, my blood and my family. Like, I want, as I live my life, to have effect by the things that I do, but then people see the things that I do to inspire the belief that they can have. So I want on my headstone, well, when I die, I want people to come up to the altar and say, Wallace made me believe. Wallace made me believe in me. Wallace made me believe that I can. Just by living my life. Now, it might be some times like my nephews, it's really direct. Like, I'm walking you to this. But I do want my community, my family to look at me and say that I believe that I have more in me and I can do more. I can be more. And then what drives me, and I have to think about it a little bit because it's not here yet, is I want my son, my legacy, to be able to look to his father, not as, like, I don't want to be looked at as like Jerry Rice to Jerry Rice Jr. Like, I don't want to be something insurmountable. I want to be something that fires him to be even more than I ever could have dreamed I could be. I want him to come up in a space where I know if somebody's in front of me, I'm getting through them. If there's an obstacle in school that I can't do, I'm sitting at the table and we staying up all night. Like, that's nothing to him. I want him to know. I guess it goes back to I want him to believe more. But that's the fire. And he ain't even a speck yet.
Yeah.
But I be having that in my head, like, when this little man get to this earth, and honestly, my wife be like, yeah, if you have a daughter, when she get to this earth, I want her to believe the same thing. Yeah, but, you know, I'm a man. I want a son.
I feel 100% the same way. Whether it's boy or girl with children, the most important thing that I would desire for them to have is just confidence in this crazy world. Just confidence in themselves.
Yeah.
A crazy confidence and belief that even when you're scared, when you don't know how to do it, you can figure it out.
For sure. I think you do start that young too.
For sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You started young.
Yeah.
I seen somebody on, because again, I do the same thing, watching TED Talks, different podcasts and stuff. All inspirational stuff. Got it drugged in my brain and stuff. Somebody was like, instead of asking people, their kids, when they, eating at the table and stuff, instead of asking them, what did you, accomplish today, and like what you did well, what did you fail at today? They try to get them used, because that's what everybody, all the billionaires and millionaires and stuff preaches, like, you need to get used to failing, because once you get used to failing, you can kind of do whatever you want, because you're going to keep learning. So they ask their kids, all right, what did you not do well today? What did you fail at today? I want to keep hearing about those. And as they keep getting comfortable, it's like, oh, they building confidence. Like, yeah, I do scary stuff all the time.
That tells you that they trying. They trying something.
They trying something. And again, we won't believe in that trying, Lindsay.
They attempting something.
Hey, look, people used to say that to me, and I'd be like, you got to try to do. In order to do it, you got to try it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. For sure.
Yeah, that's why we say it ain't no such thing as try. Either you did it by attempting it, or you didn't. Ain't no try.
Yeah.
So to that kid at the table at dinner, I also would add that when we ask that question, what did you fail at? Then the next question is, why did you fail at it? Because that starts to build the awareness and what could I have done better?
Yeah.
And then when they start moving out into the world, yeah, I can accept failing, but let me analyze. Let me have the awareness. We're gonna keep saying that word of why I failed this time. So when I move into the next one, I've already got that knowledge to overcome that obstacle.
It brings a whole different conversation versus just like, oh, you did well. It's a great job. I mean, I'm proud of you, all of that too. Like, that's going to come. And I think that kind of comes naturally for some people. For some, it don't. But like the failure thing is just such a different way to like to push and motivate people. And of course, we say all of this stuff and your plan goes out the window. You get a kid. It's just like,
yeah. Hey, but it's better to start with it in your head to not to have it at all.
Exactly.
Oh, for sure.
Ready, so you don't got to get ready.
Exactly.
I do have another one, and I don't know, P, if you got any more questions, but
no, you can round it up.
All right, cool. So this is kind of like the next question to the question about like what percentage of effort did you give in your life? What percentage of your life do you feel like you have enjoyed? And when
that was the side part of it.
The next part of it. And I guess when I say enjoyment, that means above content. I'm not gonna try to give you exactly what enjoyment means, but like where you're like, I'm a little bit over content.
Yeah. I would say like thinking from childhood to now.
From birth to now.
I'm more than 50% for sure.
Okay.
And honestly, I found more contentment in my older age than I did as a child because I really enjoyed just the chase. I really did. Like in high school, I had some tough times because I didn't fit in the best. But besides that, like I really enjoyed college because I was chasing. I really enjoyed elementary and middle school, chasing grades. Look, chasing soccer balls. Like I had a little period where I had a little bout of depression after I left Detroit, but that went away quick because I ended up in Canada, and then I found it again when I got cut from Toronto. So I would say about 65-70% of my life I've thoroughly enjoyed it. Yeah.
Those solid numbers. We just usually find that like when it's usually like one is higher than the other for most people. Like somebody who says like they've given 90% life effort, they'll be like, oh, I've only enjoyed like 40%, 50% or something. And then like vice versa. Somebody would be like, oh, I've enjoyed 90%, but I ain't gave much effort.
Yeah.
So
I guess it's where you find joy in because I fucking found joy running hills. Like
yeah, that's not normal.
Most people don't.
Yeah, that's not normal. I get it. You did. We get it. We get it. You built different.
All right.
Nah, that's what's up. Man, we appreciate you coming on. Fantastic conversation. Yeah. We definitely
respecting your most valuable resource, which is your time, for sure.
For sure.
I appreciate y'all for having me, man. This is
I will say with the book, man, no lie, we are definitely gonna do a Zen Trap perspective on it. That book easily can be a movie. Easily.
Man.
I just want to plug it here.
So good.
Easily could be a movie.
So good.
I can see the scenes now.
It's on the board. There we go. We got big goals. We appreciate that. Man, we got love and respect for you, Wallace. We really appreciate you coming on. You got anything else you want to leave with our fan base? Anything else you want to say to touch somebody?
Two things.
All right.
So I'm started Change Your Cleats is my company. And it's really right now the only thing that's selling is the book, but it's a mindset of making a decision because the moment in the book where I changed my cleats was the point in my life where I decided to chase me. And I want people to figure out when that time was or when that time will be to stop being who they tell you should be or you're supposed to be who you are, and choose the person that you feel like you are and chase that person. Go get them and realize that even if you don't become that, it's so much you're gonna become in the chase of that. So don't get so attached to the goal, because I wanted to be an NFL Hall of Famer, but I understand the value that me chasing the dream of being a football player, of being a star, receiver at A&T. It's the journey. Realize how valuable that is going to be for the next 80 years of your life. Underrated, the route they call an NFL dream. Go out and get it. as we've
Definitely
heard,
go get it.
as we've heard,
we'll definitely have a link for it. I can go ahead and tell you. I see the opening scene for the movie. An old man walking on the field, checking under the field goal post. Some kid walking up to him, asking him a question like, "Oh, you Wallace Miles?"
No, I like it. Oh, that the goal post. Like, hey, what you doing?
It's just something under there. What you doing?
Don't worry.
Yeah, I used to play here.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
In the movie, something crazy like "Go long."
I like it. Yeah. So I gotta throw my platforms. Change Your Cleats is the handle. Wallace J Miles is the handle. I'm on another podcast called Dropping Dimes with the crew of guys, and it's really just us sitting around talking about real life and our perspective. And it's really us learning from each other, growing with each other, and that's what we want to promote to our community, to our brothers, to our sisters. And then lastly, I want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart for taking the time to read my book, and then feeling the value of me coming on your platform, your show, the thing that you have created to share my life, my message. I'm humbled that you see the value that I've lived through and I've tried to show the world to bring to your baby. So I thank you for that.
Oh, no doubt. And we got to get you back when that second one coming out. Like,
sure.
We'll definitely have you back. No doubt.
For sure.
Definitely.
I'm going to go ahead and call it 2024.
All right. When the movie drop, we're going to have you back
put a date
again.
On it.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Again, we appreciate you. We appreciate the time. This has been another Zen Trap Chat. I want to get two hosts, Yogi LG.
Zen P.
We've had Mr. Wallace Miles on here. If you don't do nothing else, remember to protect your peace, protect your energy. It's the Zen Trap. We out.
The Zen Trap. I love it. All right, family.